Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture what we will do is that we will add the images to our final activity. So in the previous lecture we only had the name of the product and the description, but now what we will do is that we will go ahead and add images to this activity. So I have downloaded these three images, which is pizza, burger, and I didn't find an accurate image of a sandwich, so I actually got the image of a bread over here. So what you need to do is that if you open this image up, as you could see, this is a copyright free image which I got from the internet, and you could download any kind of image which you want. But the only thing which you do need to remember is that while you're using images in Android, the extension of the image or the type of image should always be PNG or PNG. So you cannot basically go ahead and use a JPEG image in your Android application, because for some reason it causes an error. So once you have these images on your desktop or any other folder, what you simply need to do is that you need to copy them all, go to Android Studio, and once you're into Android Studio, what you need to do is that you basically need to go into the drawable folder, right click over here, and you could paste these images over here. After this you could hit OK, and as you could see, now we have all the three images over here. Now the next thing which you need to do is that as you need to add these images to the activity, you could directly go ahead, drag it and drop it into an image view over here. But even before doing that, what you need to do is that you need to go ahead and you need to import and you need to specify the paths of these images into your food class, because the food class is actually going to be used to make decisions upon which image is to be selected. So let's go ahead in the food class, and we will add another variable by typing private int, and let's name this thing as image ID. So this image ID is actually going to hold up the ID of our image, and what we will do here is that we will make some modifications to this particular class. So what we need to do is that you need to add the image resources ID over here. So we will give a comma and then type in r dot drawable dot pizza1, as that particular image corresponds to pizza, and make sure that you include this in quotations. So let me just cut this and paste it in quotations, and the same thing is going to apply over here. So this is going to be r dot drawable dot, this is going to be burger1, and finally over here we type r dot drawable dot, and that is going to be bread1. Okay, so once this thing is done, one more thing which you need to take care of is that you need to go here and you also need to add an additional parameter over here. So that is going to be image ID, and you type in this dot image ID equals image ID. So once you do that, you also need to include the get image ID method. So that's going to be get image ID and return an image ID. And I guess you don't need to include quotations over here, so that's actually my mistake. So let me just go ahead and remove the quotations from here, because as we are passing an integer to this, so if you include them in quotations, that would be obviously converted to a string, so make sure you don't do that. Okay, so once we have added the images to the food class, the next thing which you need to do is that you need to finally go ahead and add them over here as an image view. So we will add an image view over here. So we will type image view, and the width is going to be match parent, and let's say the height is going to be 400 dp, and I guess that's a lot, so let's assume that it's 250 dp, which would be accurate. And this is going to be the text, and this is going to be the description. So you could go ahead and play around with the height and the width or the font size of these two text views, but before that we will design the image view. And the ID of this image view is going to be, let's say, food image. So we will type food image over here, save the code, and then you need to go to the Java class of this particular activity. And just as we have set up the name and description, you also need to set up the image view. So we'll type image view, and let's say this is food image equals, and we'll typecast it to image view, then we'll type find view by id r.id dot, and the id of the image view is food image. And after that, what we do is that we type food image. So we will type in food image dot set image resource, and we basically get the resource from the food class. So we will type in food dot get image id, which is basically going to return us the image id. So once we are done with this, we simply save the code and we run this application on our device and see how it works. So as you could see, the application is up and running. So let me just select eat, then let me just go to pizza. And as this contains an image, it's going to take a little bit longer than usual. So as you could see, now we have the nice image of a pizza with the name and the description. So I have not yet formatted the text view and the description properly, but you could easily go ahead and do that. So you simply need to go ahead and make some changes to the XML code of the two text views, which is pizza and which is the name and the description. So that's it for this lecture, and I hope you guys were able to understand how to build a simple list view application in Android. So what we have basically done here in this application is that we have a list view, and once we have selected one option from a list, we get redirected to a new activity, which is also a list view, which is built in some different terms, which is built using some different methods. Then we have basically learned how to add listeners to this list view and how to pass an extra ID or extra piece of information with each of the list view items, so that the food activity actually identifies that okay, the user has clicked the option to select a pizza, so I might as well go ahead and use the pizza image with the pizza name and the pizza's description. And when you select burger, this activity actually comes to know that you have selected a burger, so it's going to post a picture of burger with its name and with its description. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.